Okay, Dr. Lele, we were speaking even yesterday about this mission when the crucial undocking and hatch closing procedure were happening. So you were mentioning about how Kalpana Chawla, another Indian, lost her life in one such splashdowns. So what are the possible dangers that the astronaut spacecraft could face as it speeds down to splash down to enter Earth's atmosphere?
I think right now the major danger that is entering the Earth's atmosphere, where the temperatures are to the tune of around 2000 degrees Celsius, is already over. As far as Kalpana Chawla's craft was concerned, it was not a splashdown. She was traveling on a space shuttle. So that space shuttle, the thermal shield had faced certain amount of problems, and that's why when she was entering the Earth's atmosphere, there was an issue. But right now, they have successfully ensured that they have gone through that critical phase of entering the Earth's atmosphere, witnessing a very high degree of temperature impact. That has gone through. Now they are coming down, and I think in any point in time now, the splashdown will happen.
Okay, so we see on our screens Shubhashu Shukla and his family very eager to await his return, and in fact Axiom 4 mission's return. 3:01 Indian Standard Time was the departure, sorry, I beg your pardon, was the return time, the time when the splashdown occurs near the coast of California. Dr. Lele, yes, the Dragon spacecraft is returning with more than 580 pounds of cargo, including NASA hardware and data from over 60 experiments conducted during the mission. Overall, how do you assess this mission as we are nearing the final seconds of the splashdown?
I think this is a very important mission as far as India is concerned. And now Shubhashu Shukla is getting down. So one can say with a lot of amount of confidence that there have been a lot of learnings as far as this mission is concerned. This was a very daring mission.
Okay, the splashdown has occurred. Dr. Lele, if you could also explain to us, seeing these visuals, if that has actually occurred.
Of the crew's safe landing.
Yeah, the splashdown appears to have already taken place. Now a ship will come, essentially after things will settle down, and the ship will pick up the capsule, and astronauts will be taken out of the capsule, and subsequently a helicopter will take them to the coast, and from there they will be sitting in an aircraft, and they will go to the Kennedy Space Center, where they will be under observation for 7 to 8 days. They will be under certain amount of a monitoring. They will undertake certain amount of exercises to get back to the normalcy from a microgravity to the Earth's gravity atmosphere.
Okay, so as you were speaking earlier about the achievements of the Axiom 4 mission,
we're happy to have you back
the experiments
well.
that were conducted by the Axiom 4 mission.
Yes, as far as Shubhashu Shukla was concerned, he was involved
between
in
the Corps and our commander Peggy
developed
Whitson,
by ISRO,
as the AX4 crew has made it back home, splashed down at
Dragon. SpaceX, for your awareness, SISTI system verifications are in progress. I will report back when recovery personnel are en route.
It was about ensuring that so there was microalgae experiments. There were experiments which are related with oxygen. There were experiments
so now you can see a couple fast boats are going to be approaching the Dragon spacecraft. They're going to start with making sure that the spacecraft is safe. They're going to do some sniff checks. They're going to pick up those main parachutes. As Dragon splashed down, the chutes were immediately cut to make sure there's no safety issues there. So we'll pick up those main parachutes up. And once the crew deems that the spacecraft is safe, then our recovery vessel Shannon can begin to approach and begin the recovery process. So we are now eagerly waiting on recovery of our Dragon spacecraft with the AX4 crew. Dragon has already autonomously completed several steps to save itself following splashdown.
So for those of you just joining us, the return of AX4 has gone smoothly so far, and we just got great confirmation the crew has splashed down. So Dragon successfully re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, followed by deployment of its parachutes to slow the spacecraft down to a gentle 15 miles per hour. And at that point, they successfully splashed down in the Pacific Ocean at 2:31 a.m. Pacific time off the coast of Southern California. So at this point, like you mentioned, Jesse, we are just waiting for Dragon's recovery from Shannon.
Yeah, upon detection of landing, Dragon automatically releases the main parachutes to prevent wind from pulling the spacecraft. Dragon then automatically safes any pyrotechnics still present on the vehicle and may automatically perform additional minor system reconfigurations. The astronauts remain seated and in their suits at this point, but the onboard air conditioning keeps temperatures in check inside the spacecraft, and the communication systems on board remain powered so the crew can continue to communicate.
And as we're watching, SpaceX has 2 fast boats in their recovery fleet, which move very quickly to get to the splashdown point. And those are being followed by Shannon, the main recovery vessel, which will move into position upwind of the spacecraft. The 2 fast boats have very specific roles here in these operations. The first fast boat makes initial contact and is focused on immediate safety inspection of the vehicle, checking for vehicle integrity.
शुभांशु के परिवार वाले इस मोमेंट में मौजूद हैं, फिलहाल अभी बोलने को तैयार नहीं है क्योंकि
it's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And
Less than an hour to raise Dragon to the recovery boat and remove the crew from the space.
all of them would be in the quarantine for over next 1 week, maybe up to 23rd. And from 24th onwards, they would be having team discussions with the experts from the ISRO. Then for the next 3-4 days that will continue, after which they would be spending time having separate discussions with the representatives of Axiom, representatives of SpaceX, and representatives of NASA separately. That's called debriefing. And after that is accomplished, which will go on for about maybe nearly 2 weeks, till about 12th or 13th of April, then they'll start preparations for returning home in case of Shubhashu to return back to India. So that could be around 14th or 15th. The preparations will begin. And as of now, we speculate that he should be with us over here on the 17th of August.
17th.
जैसा मैंने कहा, के लिए ये गर्व का पल तो है ही है, भारत के लिए एक अद्भुत आनंद का पल कि भारत मां का एक पुत्र आज कामयाबी से लौटा है, एक ऐसे प्रयोग से, एक ऐसी यात्रा से जिसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए गए जो पहले कभी ना किए गए थे, लेकिन जिनका समस्त मानव जाति के लिए महत्व रहेगा। और जैसे मोदी जी हमें हमेशा सिखाते हैं वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, और साथ ही साथ हमें याद करवाते हैं कि भारत को विश्व बंधु बन करके अपनी भूमिका निभानी है। आज वास्तव में विश्व बंधु के रूप में शुभांशु ने हमारी तर्जुमानी करते हुए वो काम वहाँ अंजाम दिया है, और ये कह सकते हैं कि अंतरिक्ष में एक स्थायी स्थान भारत को आज स्थापित करने का अवसर भी रहा, सफलता भी रही। And as I said, in the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and also in the true spirit of discharging the role of Vishwabandhu as envisaged by Prime Minister Modi, a son of Mother India has accomplished for the entire mankind some of such experiments which were never conducted before, but which would have a bearing, which would have relevance for the mankind across the world, across the planet Earth. Thank you. और इसमें हाँ वापसी का भी चलिए हिंदी में बता देते हैं कि अभी रात को 11:30 बजे के लगभग वहाँ से उनकी रवानगी होगी हूस्टन पहुंचना होगा 8:30 और 9 के बीच में, जो हिंदुस्तानी टाइम है, भारत इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम, 8:30 और 9 के लगभग उनकी रवानगी होगी वहाँ से। अभी वो लैंड हुए हैं ऑफ द कैलिफोर्निया कोस्ट सैन डिएगो में। 8:30-9 बजे के वहाँ से रवाना होने के बाद उसके पश्चात लगभग 2.5-3 घंटे का रास्ता है। 11:30 बजे तक लगभग हूस्टन पहुँचेंगे। अगले 5-6 दिन रिहेबिलिटेशन की एक्सरसाइज चलेगी, क्योंकि उन्हें they'll have to get used to the Earth's atmosphere and the Earth's milieu। लगभग 23 तारीख तक ये क्रम मुकम्मल होगा और तत्पश्चात लगभग 1 सप्ताह उनकी टीम डिस्कशन चलेगी इसरो के जो हमारे प्रतिनिधि हैं उनके साथ, और तत्पश्चात फिर लगभग 15 दिन से अप टू ऑलमोस्ट 13th और 14th ऑफ अगस्त उनकी डीब्रीफिंग के सेशंस रहेंगे। अलग अलग जो इसमें स्टेक होल्डर्स थे, जो पार्टनर्स थे, एक्सियम की टीम के साथ, नासा की टीम के साथ, स्पेसएक्स की टीम के साथ, और फिर 14-15 के लगभग अगस्त उनकी वापसी की तैयारी होगी। और जैसा कि अभी योजना बनाई गई है उसके मुताबिक हम ये उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि 17 अगस्त के लगभग शुभांशु दिल्ली हमारे बीच होंगे। और जैसे मैंने आरंभ में कहा कि विश्व बंधु बनने का जो आह्वान प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने किया था, उसका पहला संकेत आज शुभांशु के माध्यम से भारत दुनिया को देने में कामयाब हुआ है।
Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh lauding Axiom 4 mission's crew's return to Earth. He called it a massive landmark achievement for Shubhashu Shukla, first Indian astronaut to have visited the International Space Station. He called it a true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, a Sanskrit phrase which means that the world is our family, where a son of Mother India, as he said, has made the country proud, its people proud. And following Shubhashu Shukla and his crew's return to Earth, he will undergo these rehabilitation tests in the USA and subsequently return to Delhi on 17th of August. And of course, both Axiom 4 mission and SpaceX have confirmed this Dragon capsule's safe return to Earth. It has been a remarkable space odyssey of 18 days on the ISS, International Space Station, where a lot of scientific experiments have been done. Shubhashu Shukla being part of many India-specific experiments, a very critical Axiom 4 mission concluding here on the coast of California. Dr. Ajay Lele continues to be with us. Dr. Ajay Lele, your thoughts on the successful splashdown of Axiom 4 mission crew back to Earth?
I think a very important mission, as Shubhashu Shukla was saying, that he has seen from the top, Sare Jahan Se Acha. Now he is back to the place which is Sare Jahan Se Acha. So I think this is a very important event in the history of India's space journey, which started way back into early 60s. So over a period of time, one can say that India has achieved many rollouts in the domain of a space, and we will continue to do so in coming years, particularly with the experience which has been gained by Shubhashu Shukla in this one mission. As it was being pointed out by the minister, that there will be various debriefings which will be undertaken. So basically, he will be talking about his experiments with the experts. He will be talking about the activities which were otherwise undertaken, about his stay, about his entire travel, because there are 3 to 4 agencies which were involved into it. One was ISRO, other was NASA, then there was Axiom 4, which is a commercial agency, and SpaceX also was involved for the launching of the craft by using their Falcon 9 rocket, and the Crew Dragon also belongs to SpaceX. So every agency has put their brains put their minds into developing these technologies. So obviously all these 4 astronauts will have to debrief to all these agencies about their achievements, about what problems possibly they could have encountered over there, what could be the way forward. So a lot of critical briefings will be there, but that only after 7 to 8 days when Shubhanshu Shukla regains his strength. Because as you stay in a space which is a gravity atmosphere, there are certain amount of health related challenges because you are continuously almost floating out over there. So there are challenges with associated with bone density. There could be challenges with your cardiovascular functioning. So there will be lot amount of a testing which will happen from a medical point of view. Then coming, even they say that you will get chicken legs because you're not being actually walking on your legs also because there was no gravity. So there will be small problems, but NASA is very well accustomed to all those things. They have undertaken many missions like these things. So there's nothing too much worry about it. It's only a matter of 7 to 8 days where that entire process has to get completed. And after that, he will start briefing various agencies about his experiences, about what are the experiments which were conducted. I think so much amount of a cargo has been brought back. So there will be equipments on which the experiments have been conducted. There will be a lot amount of data. So now the specialists, the experts will analyze that data and certain conclusions could be brought down. And subsequently, he is expected to get back to our country by 17th of August if everything goes as per the plan.
Okay, once again, let's remind our viewers, these are the visuals taken a while back. This is Axiom 4 mission crews safe return to Earth. The parachutes there floating on the Pacific Ocean off the California coast. All the crew members have safely returned to Earth after their 18-day-long mission on the ISS aboard the Axiom 4 mission. Dr. Lele, Indian astronaut Shubhashu Shukla has reportedly conducted over 60 experiments in space. Could you tell us something more about what these experiments were mainly intended to achieve?
You see, when you're talking of a 60 experiments, it was not about Shubhashu Shukla. The Axiom 4 mission, it had 4 astronauts and they had total 60 experiments which were there.
Okay.
It's not that only 4 countries of which these astronauts belong to had organized or has undertaken these experiments. There are a lot of other countries, more than 20 to 22 countries, which were involved in designing these experiments. As far as Shubhashu Shukla was concerned, his task was very specific. He was supposed to undertake 7 experiments which are exclusively designed by Indian Space Research Organization, along with agencies like Department of Biotechnology and Indian Institute of Sciences. Other than that, there were 5 specific experiments which were developed by NASA, and Shubhashu Shukla, along with other astronauts, was supposed to be part of that group to undertake those experiments. As far as Indian experiments were concerned, I can broadly divide those experiments, the 7 experiments, into 2 to 3 categories. One category is about the human health in microgravity atmosphere. That was an experiment which was related to understand how the human body actually operates into these types of atmospheres. Then there were experiments which were associated with oxygen, particularly the microalgae experiment. Then there are experiments which are associated with sprouting the moong and other sorts of vegetables out into the space. So if you really try to factor all these 3 important aspects as far as conducting of these experiments are concerned, one can realize that these are the experiments which are meant for the future usages. Because India has got plans of taking astronauts along with a Gaganyaan mission to space by 2027. Subsequently, there are plans to establish our own space station. So obviously, we would like to know more about how the astronauts' health responds to the microgravity atmosphere, because it's not only Shubhashu Shukla now. In future, we will have many more astronauts going out into the space. Then there are issues which are associated with food and survival of the astronauts over there. So definitely for survival of the astronauts, water, food, and other elements are mostly required. So some of these experiments were associated with understanding that is it possible to prepare some sort of food out into the space itself. Because as you must be knowing that to carry anything to the space is a hugely costly affair. Even to carry half a kg or 1 kg of a weight to the space costs a lot amount of things. And if you want to sustain in the space for some months or some years together, you need to have or you need to develop a system which is essentially a system which will be self-sustaining system.
Okay, request you, Dr. Lele, to hold your thought here. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, joining the nation in welcoming Group Captain Shubhashu Shukla as he returns to Earth from his historic mission to space. Prime Minister of India wrote on social media platform X, as India's first astronaut to have visited International Space Station, he has inspired 1 billion dreams through his dedication, courage and pioneering spirit. It marks another milestone towards our human space flight mission Gaganyaan. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi also elated, like the entire country, India, in welcoming Group Captain Shubhashu Shukla and his crew members as they return to Earth from their historic mission to space. Dr. Lele, your thoughts on how crucial the learnings will be for Group Captain Shubhashu Shukla as he will prepare for another challenging mission of his life, mission Gaganyaan.
If you see the entire program of a Gaganyaan, by the year 2019, India has already identified 4 Air Force pilots to be trained as astronauts. Subsequently, they were sent to Russia to train, but there were some problems as far as India's Gaganyaan mission program was concerned, mainly owing to the COVID crisis. Hence, the mission got delayed. So we had a bunch of astronauts who were trained already in Russia. But after they got back from Russia, by that time India, the ISRO has already established its own training academy to train the astronauts in Bangalore. So they continued to do their training. Then subsequently a window of opportunity came when Indo-US technical understanding deal was taken off. That time an opportunity came that an Indian astronaut can go on Axiom 4 mission. So we had identified 2 astronauts and they were sent to NASA for further training because their training was essentially based on what we call as a Soyuz spacecraft, a technology slightly different than which has been used by Axiom 4 or SpaceX. So they had to retrain to get accustomed to this new type of a technology which they will be using to the International Space Station. So amongst these 2 astronauts, Shubhashu Shukla got an opportunity to go to the International Space Station. So he has undergone a lot amount of a training in various phases and he was totally prepared to undertake this mission. And now when you're talking of learnings from this mission, they are not going to be the learnings only for Shubhashu Shukla. They are going to be the learnings for India's entire space community, particularly who are involved into human space flights. Because we have got Gaganyaan program and we have got our own space station development program also. So his learnings from these things are going to come very handy as far as development of our Gaganyaan program further is concerned and ensuring that Indian space station will be manned by Indian astronauts over a period of time. As far as ISRO is concerned, the experiments which he has undertaken, because ISRO being a very important space agency for all these years, never got an opportunity to undertake experiments into microgravity atmosphere. Shubhashu Shukla's mission allowed ISRO to undertake experiments basically related with biology in microgravity atmosphere. So there will be a lot amount of learnings for ISRO also from this mission.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lele, for being with us. You've explained to us the achievements of this historic Axiom 4 mission. On our screen, we have seen these visuals coming in of the Axiom 4 mission's safe splashdown near the coast of California. We also saw visuals of Shubhashu Shukla's parents in Lucknow, elated and, of course, having a sense of relief and, of course, pride for their son's historic achievement, Shubhashu Shukla and the Axiom 4 mission crew returning to Earth. So let's now also tell you the key events related to Axiom 4. So on 25th June, the mission successfully was launched from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, using a SpaceX Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket and the Crew Dragon spacecraft Grace. And on your screen, we are showing you the summary of the research topics. These are the topics specific to the studies conducted by the Axiom 4 mission. So the Axiom 4 mission carried 60 experiments representing 31 nations. These experiments included research into muscle formation, myogenesis, bone health, as Dr. Lele was also explaining, microalgae sustainability, stem cell behavior, the growth of edible sprouts in microgravity. The findings are